Welcome back, everybody. Another week of the multiverse of fandom, and we're back miraculously.
What's up, guys? We are back, and Moon Knight dropped this week, first episode.
Yeah, and it was really, really, really good.
Were you expecting that?
So what's that?
Were you expecting that?
No, I wasn't. I didn't know what to think going into this because I never read any of the comics.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this character before, so it was kind of like going in blind.
It's kind of nice, honestly. It's kind of nice going in blind sometimes.
Yeah, I was kind of tired when I was like, you know what? Let me watch this. I just see, I heard somebody at work talking about it, and it had held my attention from the start.
Yeah,
which is very, very rare. Yeah, I don't even think Hawkeye was that good of a had that good of a hook going into it. Which that should tell you something right there. I'm putting it right at the top
for MCU shows.
Yeah, I think it's got potential. It hasn't been doing as well. IMDb has it at a 7.4.
Rotten Tomatoes jumped up to a 87, 94 audience score. I think honestly, because it opened up with a 77, which is still good. But I think a lot of it was originally what I was reading about the reviews. I'm trying to find some. I'm on Rotten Tomatoes, but a lot of people were saying that they didn't like the they didn't like the kind of like how the MCU kind of like did a complete change in its tone with this show, and that it was very different from most MCU projects is what I was reading a lot of. But I mean, that's just, I feel like the bias towards the towards Rotten Tomatoes, like towards the MCU in general. Like they're like they're known for these like upbeat like movies where the heroes triumph, and it's like this kind of this flow that has been taking place over the past 10 years for the MCU, and now they're definitely starting to make a change, and we've seen that in recent movies and some shows, and this one is just another example of that.
I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, I I kind of grew up with the Egyptians and all that stuff. I was really into that stuff as a young boy, so this kind of had my attention as well. I like that sort of the mythos of the character is from the Egyptians, and that sort of, Amenhotep, those other guys. What was the other the main Egyptian god? I forget the name, but anyways, this I like that. That's what the mythos of the character is. That's kind of cool. I don't think we've seen that. You don't really see that as much in a main comic book character.
Yeah, and it was like, it was really cool to see that like he had that voice that like it was kind of like a narration.
That's what people are saying. That's ripping off Venom.
Yeah, it's like it was weird because it was one person's voice, and then it was Mark, who is, I'm assuming, Moon Knight, and then Steven is the museum gift shop employee who is fighting this second personality, I guess, and it was very interesting how it all took place.
Yeah, I guess in the original comic book, there's a taxi driver of some kind. That's like his eyes and ears.
Oh, really?
So I guess that's who that deep voice was supposed to be.
Interesting.
So I guess we'll be hearing more. You'll be hearing more from him.
It was like, no, it was like really like I guess the word is trippy. Just like the cuts where it kind of like shuffled the screen to show the switch, and then like shuffled back, and then like there's like 6 guys dead on the ground, or like one, like the car's like falling off a cliff or something. It was like, it was, I feel like for me, like, and you, like, we both didn't really know the character. It was so unexpected and like so like interesting and intriguing to follow along to and to watch. Like I thought it was great. I can't wait for this series.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. The guy has to like chain himself to his bed because he keeps waking up in random places. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
The,
which
the
is
show is kind
funny.
of funny.
Which is funny because I was thinking to myself, I was like, what if as like when he's sleepwalking or whatever, when we're first watching, what if he's sleepwalking and he puts everything back the way it was and he'll never know if he actually went out.
Right. That's what I was thinking because his other self is smarter than this one.
Which is what happened because he had the fish with the that didn't have a fin, and
Right.
then he noticed that his fish had a fin. And he's like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, he took it back to the pet store.
He realized it was Sunday. He'd like lost 2 days.
Yeah, he was supposed to go on that date with that really attractive girl, and then
Yeah.
he showed up and she was like, I ate by myself 2 days ago.
He's like, "What do you mean? It's Friday."
Oh,
And
Sunday.
he was a vegan, and he was at the steakhouse. And he goes, "I'll take a steak."
Well done. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But overall, I mean, I feel like the score is valid for sure. I think it was very like there's been some things that the MCU has done recently. Like for the biggest example, I feel like is the Eternals. That was like kind of, I think, kind of straying away a little bit from what the MCU normally does, and I don't think that was necessarily a success. Like some people may, I just don't think it was. And yeah, like on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 47%. So that's something the MCU did a little bit different and didn't really pay off. This one though, I feel like it's only one episode in. We have to give it time, but I think they're going in the right direction with this.
Yeah, it looks like that. It looks like that, and you have a really good actor too in the leading role, and I think that really helps out with this in this case. But yeah, no, I think this is going to be a really solid series. Really, really like it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be covering this like week to week as it comes out. So, but oh, what happened there? You all good?
Yeah.
Okay. So well, Morbius came out. Morbius was released, and it, I mean, it's kind of just laughable to a certain point because we have not seen it yet. Full disclosure, we have not seen it, and I'm
Yeah,
going
that
to
looks
see
pretty
it.
bad.
I don't know. You said I think you're going to wait until it's out on streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to see it on Monday,
Mm,
but it came out with a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
it's pretty bad.
It's gone up 17%, a
Yeah, there
whole
you go.
1%. It's I mean, like we said, we haven't seen it yet, so it's we're not gonna. I'm probably gonna judge it hard right now and give another review next week, but it doesn't surprise me that it did this bad, especially when I was reading that apparently, remember the Spider-Man, all the Spider-Man Easter eggs that were in the movie, like they had the Spider-Man on the wall that said murderer. They
Yeah.
had the Oscorp Tower and a few other things I can't remember, but all of those were apparently cut from the film. And the scene with Michael Keaton with Vulture was apparently an end credit scene, which
Oh,
to me doesn't make any sense because why would they be teasing something like that if Michael Keaton's Vulture is for the MCU and not Sony?
why did they cut all the
I have no idea. I was reading it online that they had cut like almost all of them, if not all of them, all of the like the little Easter eggs for Spider-Man. And you
wow,
remember the one that
weird.
apparently the one that was like I am Venom, and he like did the growl or whatever, and he was like, I'm just kidding, I'm Michael Morbius.
Yeah.
Apparently that was also cut. So it's like
I wonder
anything that like tied in was scrapped from the movie. So it's kind of strange why they would choose to do that, especially if you're planning on this being connected to the the Sony Spider-Man universe. And I said it last week too. Like Michael Morbius has such a connection to Peter Parker. Like Peter Parker basically creates him because he uses his blood or he gets infected by Spider-Man's blood, which then turns him into Michael Morbius or into Morbius the vampire. And I mean, it's just kind of frustrating having a character that could be so like done so well and then just butchered like this
Yeah,
from what they're from what reviews are saying.
I mean, the actor played probably one of the worst DC villains ever.
Yeah, I mean,
so now he's played
at
one of the
least
worst Marvel.
yeah, at least his Joker is now is not the worst villain he's ever played.
Yeah, yeah,
He
that's
was
true.
definitely better in that. Apparently, I was
Yeah,
talking to some people. Yeah, he was definitely better in the Suicide Squad.
yeah. I mean, I was a little excited to see this, but now I don't care anymore.
Oh
It's
yeah, I know.
funny.
Like I feel like a lot, like me at least, like I feel like a lot of people who are talking about it, like I was excited. I was excited to potentially get like even if it was as like in the same category as Venom, because Venom's not great, but it's not horrible. It's just like an enjoyable movie, I would say. And I was kind of expecting the same thing for this, but guess not.
Well, moving on. I think we've spoken enough about this
Yeah, we'll talk
crappy
about it.
movie.
We'll talk about it more after I watch it and regret it probably. So what do we got next?
I think there's a bit of Star Wars news about Obi-Wan. I know they talked to the Darth Vader actor recently, and he said without giving too much away, he was excited to play the character again. But there is a theory out there for why this time skip for Obi-Wan Kenobi makes sense. Because if you look at where they're at, this is 10 years after episode 3.
Okay.
And I think it's something like only 19, it's either 9 or 19 years until A New Hope. And so if you put Ewan McGregor and Obi-Wan next to Alec Guinness, it doesn't make sense, the
Uh-huh.
time skip. So they're saying that he's going to get attacked with some kind of lightning, either at the end of this season or the end of the next, and you'll see him turn into Alec Guinness.
Interesting.
So I think that's pretty cool because that kind of makes everything, because that's what happened to Palpatine.
Yeah, that's true. So that's actually I didn't hear that one. That's pretty cool.
I just remembered that one.
Yeah.
Just popped back in my head.
It's also the release date got pushed back 2 days.
That's right. Yeah.
Now it's the 27th, which is a Friday, and 2 episodes are going to release.
So this will be a nice couple hours.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly prefer that when they release the first 2 episodes, you get a little it's like you get kind of like that initial rush, and then it just doesn't end. You get like one more at least.
Yep.
You get to go for one more.
That's right.
I'm starting my Clone Wars marathon tomorrow.
Were you starting from episode 1?
Yeah, from episode 1 I'm doing. So what was it? It was episode 1, episode 2 Clone Wars, episode 3 Rebels, I believe, and then
Oh no, you have to watch Rogue One before anything.
no, Rogue One's after Rebels.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Rogue One ends with how A New Hope starts.
Are you sure?
Yeah, remember Vader's in it? because he was
Oh
they
yeah,
they
but I thought
because
Rebels
that's
was
where
right.
they Rogue One is where they get the plans for the Death Star, and Leia does the whole "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope."
Okay, I always watch Rogue One right after, but I've never seen Rebels, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, so it's I believe it's the first two Clone Wars, Episode 3 Rebels, um, and then it would be Obi-Wan, then Rogue One, and then the originals. So yeah, I'm starting that tomorrow. Very excited. It's going to be a long journey.
Yeah. Actually, you have to watch Solo too before Rebels.
Does Solo count though? Like I don't want to watch Solo.
You don't want the whole
I
experience.
saw
You can go
that.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, like a little, like barely.
So Obi-Wan's gonna come after Solo and before Rebels.
Obi-Wan. No,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's after Rebels.
No. Why would
Yeah.
Obi-Wan be after Rebels? In Rebels you see the old Obi-Wan fight Darth Maul in Tatooine.
Oh, I thought online it said that it was episode 3 Rebels and Obi-Wan and then Rogue One.
I've just now looked at two different timelines.
And it's okay. So what'd you say? It's Obi-Wan then Rebels?
So it's Solo, Obi-Wan, Rebels, Rogue One.
Okay.
I think there's a couple other things that haven't come out yet that are there too. Here, I'll
Well,
text this to you.
yeah, send me that. So I'm gonna go off that list. I don't wanna mess it up. But if that I mean, I'm still probably gonna watch Rebels, even though it's before or after Obi-Wan, I'll still watch it.
Oh, why not? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, nice. I just got that. But next, I want to talk about some comic book stuff. I just finished reading the Deathstroke Omnibus.
The thing was huge.
It
I
was
remember you showed it to me.
massive. It was like 1,600 pages.
How
And
long did it take you?
if I was reading, like I took a few like breaks where I probably hadn't read for like a month and then like a few weeks and I was reading. So it probably took me like a good 3 months to get through it.
Damn.
Because I was just, taking a week off here and there, just like not reading it and stuff. So it took me a while, but um obviously that's probably one of it like definitely like Deathstroke was one of my favorite villains in DC, and it definitely elevated definitely elevated that for me after reading it, because it was a really like interesting story about his struggle as like not only like obviously it shows so much about him being an assassin and stuff and like getting his abilities and becoming like a super soldier basically, but a lot of it too shows his like struggle with being that like assassin and also being like a father, like a family man and stuff. It's like very interesting. And then one of the best parts in the book came from the issue called the Lazarus Contract.
That sounds familiar.
And so basically in that story, so it's like the new Teen Titans, which is Damian Wayne, Wally West, and not like a different version of Wally West though. I forget who else is in it, but in that group. But so Deathstroke steals Kid Flash's speed and uses it to go back in time to save his son Grant, because when his son Grant Ravenger was fighting the Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans, he was about to kill Dick Grayson, Robin, and he ended up having a heart attack. And Wally West tried to save him, and then Deathstroke like found him dead with them around him, and he basically put made a Lazarus contract to avenge his son. But he ends up stealing the speed from Kid Flash and going back in time to try to save his son, which of course, like in changing the timeline would mean like a catastrophe. So the Teen Titans and the Titans try to they stop him. But
Mhm.
it's like it's such a cool concept, because basically every speedster that, every time there's a speedster, they're not like great fighters. They use their speed to
Yeah.
their advantage, and they can defeat people using their speed and stuff. But it's
They're not
like
good at hand-to-hand combat.
exactly, and now it's like the
Combat.
world's most deadliest assassin has the speed force and can use the speed force. Like he could, if they didn't stop, like he kind of stopped himself because he trapped himself in the speed force. But if he didn't do that, like he would have been able to annihilate like the Justice League.
Yeah.
He could have destroyed everybody using the speed force. I thought it was like a very cool concept, especially with it being Deathstroke and his like reputation giving him the speed force. It's something that I probably would have never thought of, and it was one of the coolest like stories that I've read.
That's crazy. That sounds like it's a really solid collection of stories.
Yeah, it was good.
1,600 pages. That's a big book.
It was a lot of time, but
Is it rare? Can you get it now, or is it out of print?
no, I think you can still get it. It came out in October, so it's the omnibus, so it's fairly new, but then it's the rebirth run. So you can probably find the rebirth run, just the single issues and stuff at different comic book shops, Newberry Comics.
So anywhere where comic books are sold?
I would say so. If they got them, they should be there. Or Amazon, wherever you can find it. And if you can read it, definitely read it if you want to.
Target?
Probably not Target. You think Target has it?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Definitely
Target doesn't have anything comic book related, really.
No, they don't have anything. I was there recently.
Didn't you go for Funko Pops and you said they were completely out?
No, it's people. Nobody cleans that store, man.
It's a mess. Like the
Kids go through there, they throw shit.
It's a mess because I was looking. I think this was another time, and we went one time too to a Target, and we went to the Funko Pops. And it was just a pile of crap. Like it was stuff everywhere. It's like great.
Yeah, Target's like your local Walmart. But it sounds like a good collection of stories there.
Yeah, and I gotta pick what I'm starting next, so I don't really know yet. I'm like trying to decide what I want to start. Where is this thing I wanted to show now? I wanted to talk. Oh, I got it. And then so this is potential spoilers for The Flash. Do like a little disclaimer, and I don't know if they're just rumors, so they may not be completely accurate. But I want to just read through them and then get your thoughts on what's going on. So
let's hear it.
So this is like just the rumors and this is the pre-Flashpoint timeline. So Zack Snyder's Justice League could be canon to DCEU. There are no major references to like nightmare scenes or anything like that. Iris remembers Barry and Batman. Bruce and Barry talk about Barry traveling back in time to save the day at the end of Snyder Cut. And then the Flashpoint timeline, the other Barry that you see in like the little teaser where there's two of them is apparently the Black Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha Calais is playing Kara Zor-El, not Laura or Sierel, which originally I guess was reported that she was going to be playing one of those characters. And then the post-Flashpoint timeline. So the new universe is formed. Events of the Snyderverse will not be part of this new universe. So Man of Steel, BVS, Snyder Cut, Suicide Squad. Michael Keaton will be the universe's Batman. And Barry thinks that Batfleck is erased because of him. And then it says that Henry Cavill, Superman, won't be in the new universe. Superman will be replaced by Supergirl in this new universe. Shazam is set to make an appearance in the film. And then it says Batfleck isn't completely erased. He is trapped in the old universe. The Flash movie will put the Snyderverse off to the side for Warner Brothers / DC to access it in the future. and a crisis event is teased with Batfleck at the end of the movie sending Barry a message asking for help.
Yeah, it sounds like they're grasping for straws here.
Yes. There's so much, like, what bothers me about all of that, there's so much information and there's so much like beating around the bush that it just makes it seem like they're just spewing garbage.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty obvious they don't have their shit together.
No,
You
like,
know?
and
Yeah.
and I would, you know, I've talked about it. We've talked about it so many times. Like, I'd love to see like this, like Justice League 2, Justice League 3. I'd love to see Cavill come back, Affleck come back, but at the same time, I would rather them cut it completely, make a definitive like decision instead of like they're leaving it open. I feel like it's just it just makes everything so much more messy. Just make a decision. If you want a new DCEU with Supergirl being the main, Kryptonian, and Michael Keaton, Batman, whatever, then do that. Just don't keep all these different things just because you don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Marvel, when they make a mistake, they fix it and then they learn from it. DC, it feels like they make a mistake and they just keep making the same mistake.
Well, with Marvel too, it's like like nobody's perfect. So Marvel is like Eternals is an example of that. We'll bring that up again. Like Eternals at 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. It didn't do tremendously well, I don't think, at the box office, but they're still going to make a second. They're still going to make a third. They're still going to tie it into the main MCU timeline. It's not just going to go away because it didn't do great. Like, DC needs to learn that they can take a hit and still make a second movie and try to redeem themselves. Like, you know what you did wrong, make a second one and see how that does.
I wish that was that simple for them, but it really isn't anymore.
It's just, it's
They're
really
not
not
capable of running a universe successfully.
clearly no.
They
They're
can run
clearly
some
not.
parts of it
Well, they
successfully,
can. I
but
feel like they can run the parts of it that aren't, when it's not a shared universe. But once it becomes
yeah,
a shared universe,
no, they don't know how to manage that.
yeah, it seems like it's just everything kind of explodes in their face. Because now Batgirl just wrapped up filming, and I think that's supposed to come out around December of this year. So that's another movie that we'll have to see if it performs well or if it's just a hot pile of garbage.
Hopefully, it's not a hot pile of garbage.
It's just DC, it's so hard to put into words like the frustration as like a DC fan. And at this point, I feel like I'd honestly even rather them kind of let the Batman universe unfold, and then focus on characters, how Marvel's doing with like their TV shows, how good of a job they did with Peacemaker, kind of maybe expand on the TV universe a little bit more. Get like six episode seasons, just kind of, build on these characters and let them all live separately if they want, because they can't do anything connected.
No, they can't. It should really just kind of stay that way. And I mean, if they down the line, if they can kind of prove to themselves, because they don't need to prove anything to anybody else,
Yeah,
just
like
apart from whatever the
people are gonna
shareholders
watch
say.
it. Like we're gonna watch it. Like regardless, like whether it's, let's say it gets horrible reviews like Morbius and we don't decide to watch it in theaters, we're eventually going to watch it because it's like we're fans of it. We want to see it.
Yeah.
So it's not like no one's gonna watch these movies. Like they're gonna be viewed. Like people are gonna watch them. People are gonna like them for the most part. It's just DC.
Just DC being DC, and they don't really have, right now there's not one thing they can do that can kind of turn everything around. They have to be consistent for a good long time.
It's also
Um,
that's the key. Just like put out consistent content and let it just grow that way. But like even in Peacemaker, like we have like we both loved that show. We thought it was great. But even the little like Easter egg of the Justice League in there,
yeah,
it
they
was
couldn't even
so
get that
not,
right.
but it was
Yeah,
so not needed. It was so unnecessary at the time. Yeah, it was really cool. It was the first time we saw these characters on the screen since technically you would say 2017, because Snyder Cut takes place in 2017. Um, so like it's cool to see, but then like thinking about it, it's like that was so unnecessary. That was just so useless to the whole like plot of the show.
it was so useless, but they couldn't even get that done.
No, they couldn't, because
No.
they excluded Cyborg, they excluded and Batman. They had them out. So it's just very odd the way they do things. They want to do things for the sake of the fans. They want to give this fan
Yeah,
service, but
it's
they
not done
just
the right
like
way.
it's not done. Yeah, it's just a miss. It's just a complete swing and miss. Very very strange. And we always say they just need like a Kevin Feige type person to run it, but that's so much. I feel like that's so much easier said than done. It's just because they have people now. They have James James Gunn, but
James Gunn can't run everything on his own.
no, and
You
because
know.
especially because he's going to be working on his own projects for DC. Like he
Yeah.
can't be overseeing everything. They need like somebody like specific to just kind of oversee all of that and not be like, you know, they need somebody to be like the voice for the voiceless. I feel like a lot of people were talking about No Way Home potentially bringing in the other two Spider-Men, and then as much as they probably had that planned, you could imagine some of it may have been the help from the fans, like some certain scenes, like where there's fan service, like Andrew Garfield, he did the pointing the Spider-Man meme, like that was him doing it. It's like things like that work. That's like fan service. Like everyone loves that.
Yeah, DC just needs somebody to kind of think outside the box because they can't copy Marvel. They
That's what
can't
I
do it,
hate though,
and they're not good at it.
they're trying to copy. Like
Yeah.
you're
If
not
they were if
like
they were good at if they were good at doing that, of copying Marvel, they would take the Marvel formula but mold it into the DC world
but they're
so
just
it
trying to
works for
take the
them.
formula and put and just like bang.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way though. Not with DC.
Yeah, no,
DC is a
especially
different type of universe.
it's just a different kind of like animal with all its characters.
Yeah.
Like the just the stories in general of these characters are so they're so much more, they're so different compared to the
Mhm.
MCU ones, that you need to have that. Like you obviously want, it's a superhero story, you want that like kind of optimism, you want that that triumph for the hero, but DC, it's a little bit more darker. Like their past are a little bit more troubled. Like they live with that. They like so you want to see that. Like they're just kind of missing right now. And hopefully
Yeah.
what DC stuff is coming out? Is there anything coming out soon for
I
DC?
think they push back Black Adam.
I need to look that up now, because I think everything got pushed back, but I don't know if there's anything like recent or soon that's coming out. Let's see. So let's see.
I don't know what's coming out right now. It's a good
Yeah,
question. I
it's
don't think we have anything on the
a full
horizon.
list of upcoming DC movies. Because obviously everything got pushed back. Yeah, no. So the most recent, or the one that's coming out the soonest, is DC's League of Super Pets, and that's coming
I
out
can't wait for that one.
July 29th.
3 days after my
Yeah,
birthday.
I'm pretty sure that was around the time Black Adam was supposed to come out. Then Black Adam, October 21st. Shazam, December 16th. Batgirl is TVA, but 2022. Aquaman, March 17th. Flash, June 23. Blue Beetle, August 18, 2023. I mean, that's just insane. Remember how this year was supposed to be the year of DC? Remember those ads?
Yeah,
It's,
it was the couple months of DC recently, but now no more
yeah.
because it'll be on HBO Max pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll get the
Sorry about
Batman
the
on
Batman.
the Batman on
Yeah,
HBO Max.
April 19th, I think. Couple weeks.
Couple weeks. God, it's so depressing talking about DC. I think I'm just gonna stop talking about DC movies and just focus on their comics, because the comics there's some really good stuff out right now. So maybe we'll talk about that too.
The comics are better for DC. The movies are
Definitely.
better for Marvel.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
And that's how it's going to be for a while.
Yep. For a very long time. Is that, you got anything else, or is that it for this week?
I think that might be it for this week. Again, not really too much going on. I mean, we can't really talk about the slap heard around the world.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Was it staged or was it real?
No, it's definitely real.
Yeah, it's definitely real. There was people saying that it was staged because the viewership for the Oscars jumped up from 9 million to 17 million after the slap.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't care, but you know that their views are all the way up, or
they absolutely care. They've been the Oscars have been tanking for
no, I know I'm being sarcastic
for years. Okay, good.
Yeah. No, I meant it like I'm sure like, oh well, you know, Will Smith, what he did was horrible, but you know, we'll take the views too. No, I think that I just had the Obi-Wan thing popped into my mind just as we started. I had taken screenshots of that too. No, it's going to be a lot of talk like that until May because everyone's getting excited for it.
Yep. We have Moon Knight to look forward to, at least. We got that
every Wednesday now.
Yeah, we got that for the foreseeable future for the next month or so.
Month and a half, yeah.
Yeah, and then
that'll take us to
Obi-Wan. And then Obi-Wan into Miss Marvel, which I don't even care to talk about. We didn't even talk about the trailer because it just.
I'm probably not going to watch that one.
I'll probably miss that one too.
Miss Marvel fans, sorry.
Oh, and then Doctor Strange 2 is coming out soon. We got about a month. May 6th. Okay. Tickets are out. I think the tickets are out soon, so we got to figure out who's coming so we can go watch that.
I'll go see that. Yeah,
that's gonna be a good movie. I hope. But that's it, everybody.
Can't be as bad as Morbius.
No, definitely not.
No.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on the podcast.
Thanks for listening, everyone.